Hi, my name is Miguel and I'm a flute finisher at Powell. My favorite Powell flute would have to be the 14 karat gold Handmade Custom. This flute features 14 karat gold throughout and has the lightweight pinless mechanism, which we call the elegant mechanism. The first gold Powell flute was actually made in 1928 by Vern Powell, about 18 years after his first silver flute. And now it's been several decades, and this is what we've come to. This is decades of innovation. It's a really beautiful instrument. Every time I play it, I kind of the way I would describe it is as if my imagination is able to sprawl beyond my perceived limitations. It's a very stabilizing instrument, but it's also incredibly flexible. The sound has this beautiful sweep in it, especially when you use vibrato, and it allows you to really play nuanced, and it inspires you to do it because you feel really capable of it. Now that you've learned about the instrument itself, I suppose it's time to hear it. I'm going to play a little bit of Johannes Donjon's Elegie Etude.
Hello NFA, my name is Jennifer and I am one of the finishers here at Powell. And with me today I have a 9K custom model with silver mechanism. I chose this one for you today to listen to because I personally like how I sound with the gold. And then I do like the contrast look with the silver keys. I think it's a cool look to have. With the silver keys, it does give a more flair or brilliance to the sound. And this differs from the 14K or the rose gold flute because of it has less resistance and it has a lighter timbre to it. And fun fact about the 9K flute, it was made the same year I was born, 1985. And they made it to give the flute player another option with a more flexible feel due to the copper that's in the alloy. And I chose today the Andante by Mozart, so you can kind of get a feel for the lightness of it.
Powell. I work mostly on the 905 model, which is what I will be showcasing today. I've been working on the 905 model since its conception, so it's been pretty cool to watch how it's grown and changed over the past couple of years. If you own a 905, there's a good chance that I finished it, so I'd like to talk to you a little bit about it today. The 905 is awesome because you get kind of the handmade Powell feel with the more of the Sonare price. The bodies are all finished here at Powell by me or one of the other finishers. All of our 905 flutes have Aramite barrels that are soldered on here in the shop, which is the same Aramite that you'll see on any of our Aramite flutes. We also have special head joints that are the signature head joints with Aramite lip plates, or you can get an all Aramite head joint, and they have special 905 crowns that are Aramite on the top.
Hi, my name is Kristin Moore. I manage our US direct sales and international dealer accounts in Southeast Asia, Australia, and the Middle East here at Powell Flutes. The instrument I wanted to showcase for you today is our 9K Aramite Handmade Conservatory Flute. It's an instrument that actually takes its roots way back in 1928 when Vern made his first commercial model. It was the first instrument that had drawn tone holes. So fast forward, when we created our own version in 1993, we called it the 2100, and in the case of 9K Aramite Conservatory, the 3100 flutes. These were really fun flutes that had a nice update with pointed arms instead of wide arms like Vern originally had, and used a little bit more technology that we were able to incorporate. In 2002, we rebranded the instruments as the Handmade Conservatory line, and that is what you see here today. Some features with the 9K Aramite Conservatory, as I mentioned, the drawn tone holes where the material is taken from the tubing. It creates this beautiful lightness to the instrument, and the gold exterior made of 9K rose gold gives it a warmth and color palette and dynamic nuance that I think is just so much fun to play.
Hey, I'm Andrew from Powell Flutes. I work with the wooden instruments. What I do is I get the wood in and just comes in a billet, so just like a board, and turn it around, drill a hole in the middle. It'll get aged for a little while, let the wood dry, settle in until its final state, until it's finally, the body will be CNC'd, put all the tone holes in, and then by hand I'll add the barrel, fit the foot joint, make the head joint, and I'll get passed on to the next step where all the keys are added. The head joints are really interesting, I think, to make because it's pretty much all done by hand. It's a little tedious, but it kind of makes that much more satisfying. The flutes are really interesting, I think, because it's easy to switch over to a wooden instrument from a silver flute without having to learn a whole different mechanism like you would with a Baroque flute or something like that. When I first played one, I was actually pretty surprised by how similar it was to a silver flute, just in terms of playability. Like, I found like the upper and lower registers, like extremes on either end, pretty effortless. Like, I was expecting that there'd be like more resistance or maybe just harder to focus, but yeah, pretty simple to go over, and just having the different timbre, the different sound quality. When I've played a wooden flute, I find it to be a much sweeter, mellower sounding instrument. So to demonstrate the tone of the instrument, I'm going to play the Bach Sonata in E minor, the first movement.
My name is Sue, and I've been a finisher here at Powell Flutes for just over 2 years now. And in my hands, I hold the stunningly beautiful custom 14-karat aramite flute with the upgraded gold package, which includes 14-karat rings, 14-karat soldered tone holes, 14-karat ribs, and posts as well. Powell Flutes was the first maker to produce flutes out of this fusion of gold and silver that we have patented as aramite just over 30 years ago in 1990. The gold and silver are heated together at an extremely high temperature so that it basically becomes one piece of metal. It's not going to come apart, rub off, or wear away like plating can. I loved the 14K aramite with the gold package in particular because with the exterior silver tubing, it gives me that bright, vibrant sound that I'm looking for, but also with the 14K on the interior, it gives you that rich, dark, warm sound that you're looking for that you can only get with a gold flute as well. The 14K just pushes it that little extra mile. And while I was upgrading my flute being in college, I wanted something that was really flexible and I could have a lot of fun with and play with a lot of different color.
My name is Julia Viviano, and I'm one of the sales managers here at Powell Flutes. I have a 601, Sonare 601 here with me today that I'm really excited to talk to you about. But first, I wanted to just talk a little bit about our Sonares. All of our Sonare flutes have a sterling silver handmade head joint that is made here at Powell, but this particular model is a very close cousin to our 705 flute. Both of those flutes have sterling silver body, but the main difference between the 601 and the 705 is that the 705 has pointed key arms that you can see on the key cups, in addition to 10-karat white gold springs, while the 601 model uses Elgiloy springs and Y key arms. I love the Sonare 601 so much because it's actually the first Powell flute that I've ever owned. I must have been around 12 or 13 years old when I was looking to step up my flute. So I went to my local music store with my flute teacher and I was looking for flutes that had silver head joint and a silver body. So that immediately put the 601 and the 705 as contenders, but I ultimately went for the 601 because of the price point, but also because of how amazing this head joint was. It was a little bit more resistant than the student flute that I was used to, but the sound quality and the projection perfection that I was able to get from that flute. It was something that I was really able to grow into. I had that flute for maybe 6 or 7 years before needing to upgrade to a professional model. So all throughout high school, even through some college. So I absolutely love this flute and can't recommend it any more highly. So with all of that said, I would love to show you how the 601 sounds, and I can't think of any better way than to play a piece for you that I learned when I was in high school on my 601 flute. So here goes the Chaminade. Hi, I'm Kari. I am a finisher here at Powell, and I've been finishing flutes for almost 6 years. I'm holding a signature piccolo. It is made out of grenadilla wood that we age for a minimum of 12 years before we even add keys and ribs to it. It comes with a sterling silver mechanism and the option for a splitty. I chose to play the piccolo for you today because I honestly prefer the piccolo to flute sometimes. And I actually think I made this piccolo that I'm going to play for you. The piece I'm going to play for you now is The Sun Whose Rays Are All Ablaze. It's from The Mikado and written by Sir Arthur Sullivan. The reason I chose this is because I really love playing in pit orchestras, especially for Gilbert and Sullivan's shows. And so this is an aria for a soprano, and it really showcases her range, and I feel like it also really showcases the range of the signature piccolo.
Hi, my name is Daniel Sharp and I'm the General Manager at Powell Flutes. I'm really happy to talk to you a little bit about one of my very favorite things that we make at the Powell Workshop, which is the Philharmonic head joint style. I'm totally in love with this head joint. I like all of our head joints, but this one for me has a particular character to it. I can get a lot of rich colors out of it. It's very powerful, and it's something which, as a musician, you enjoy playing every single day. So I'm going to be playing it on one of our silver custom models. This is a really classic Powell flute. It's made in sterling silver, which is a little bit different than other silver flutes that one can play. It has a lot of warmth to the sound, and we really love using sterling silver at Powell. It's been part of our catalog since the beginning in 1927. So I'd like to play a short excerpt for you from Mussorgsky's Night on Bald Mountain. This is my favorite kind of excerpt because it's a piece we all know and hear a lot, but there's this beautiful moment at the end which features the flute, and it's something which really showcases the Philharmonic and all of the colors and the power that you can do with this head joint.
I'm Francois. I'm president of Powell Flute Boston. My favorite flute, or one of my favorite flute at Powell, is the 18K model. This model was we launched in 2017. That was actually one of the first projects I worked on when I came into the company. And that was after a trip in Japan with our distributor Dolce, that we started talking about a flute that was made in the 90s, and that actually Mr. Philippe Bernold still plays. They asked me if we could, if there was a possibility for Powell to come back and bring that model back with some little adjustments and the elegant mechanism and so on and so forth. So that flute is a little bit special to me. The people around the world that are playing, or some of the people that are playing that 18K flute, of course Philippe Bernold, Birgit Ramsgaard, Sylvia Caredou, and Soyun Kim. So I hope you will take the time to try that great instrument and have a great NFA.